welcome back to Salesian Vocation of Don Bosco 2021. Happy New Year. And today I would love to introduce to you Father Kristian.
Thank you, Father Vien. It's good to be here.
Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for being here with us. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself? Let's see who you are, where you at this moment.
Well, first and foremost, Happy New Year to everyone. I'm originally from the Philippines, and I moved here early on, maybe about 12 years now. And being in this province is a great privilege for me, working with the Salesians. I am currently studying in Berkeley at the GTU to take some spirituality courses. I'm taking some Salesianity with Father Jobuensi and Father Alex Rodriguez, at least for this year. So I'm starting my second semester this February and ending this coming May.
Nice. Wow. You back to study again.
Yeah.
Nice. And Father Kristian, you've been ordained for how many years?
It's been 5 years now.
5 years.
5
Wow.
years, yes. Going for 6, yes.
Nice. And I know that you began your vocations in Philippines first. Can you tell us like how did your vocation story begin?
Well, I get to go to the school of the Salesians in high school. But in the beginning, in elementary, I was with the Dominican school. And there's a big difference. When I entered my high school years, I feel so bad because my family pushed me to go to the Salesians in my high school because 5 of my uncles went there. And so my grandparents and my mom want me to also finish high school with the Salesians. In the beginning, I didn't want to because I'm missing my friends.
So familiar to somebody.
Yes. And so it was in the Salesian high school for 4 years that I discovered what Salesian spirit is. I may not have the words to express it, but I really did enjoy it. And I think it was in my senior year that the Salesians have asked me, because I become very good friends with them. By the way, I was also a student during the weekday, but in the weekends I attend the oratory. So in the Philippines, the schools sometimes are open for oratory. The same school facility, we open it for the kids around the area because Saturday, Sunday, nobody uses the schools. So I used to go. So the school there, Don Bosco in Mandaluyong High School, is like a second home to me. So on the weekend, I am very involved with the catechism, with the leadership in the oratory. As a Knights of the Altar, I serve at Mass also. So I serve as an altar boy for Mass. And it was then that the Salesians have taught me to be a leader among the young people. And then also have invited me in my senior year if I would like to go to the seminary. In the very beginning, of course, I told them, of course not. I don't want to go. I don't plan to be a priest. But they did say that, no, you're going to the seminary not to become a priest, just to think about it. And so I think it was wise and very cunning for them to say, because I did promise them, okay, I will try it for 1 year.
Nice. I like that idea because sometimes like we scare the young people out like, oh, you have to be a priest if you choose certain thing. No, it's the discernment process. It's not like right away. That's very interesting. You really involved in the activities at school and Salesian activities.
In high school, I was very active in sports. I love sports. I played for volleyball and basketball in my high school. And also through playing volleyball, the Salesians gave me a scholarship. 2 of us actually. 2 of us are, because we're active in the oratory, they gave us scholarship to study in the high school just to play volleyball. So I learned how to play volleyball, but I love basketball more.
Interesting, because what I know that you're really good at basketball.
Yes,
I didn't know you played volleyball before, but interesting, something new to me.
So when they asked me to play volleyball for the school, I have to give up my playing basketball for school, but I play outside. So after the school, in the evening, I play in the intercity for basketball because that's what I love. But I have scholarship by playing volleyball because and 2 of us became Salesian actually. 2 of us are priests now. who have that scholarship. Yeah.
Wow, so two of you become a Salesian priest.
Yes.
And he's still in Philippines now?
Yeah, he is actually part of the formation also for the pre-novitiate. So he's an excellent guy. I'm only
Yes.
he's a good example for us. He's our Saint Dominic Savio in our class.
Wow, it's similar to my story, but if I have a chance, I will share my own story. But it's similar that I also have one of my classmates. He's like Savio, it's humble and simple man, but very holy. Kind of like we always admire what he's doing, and that's very nice. Another question I would like to ask you: you've been a priest for 5 years and probably a Salesian for like 15 years. What make you happy to be a Salesian?
I think there's many answers to that, but I think thinking about now, what makes me happy is knowing Don Bosco, and knowing that he gave us a way of life that we can be holy. And it's very human, very simple, not easy, but I would say simple, because you just have to be who you are. Yes. You just have to give it your best. Yes. And if you do it out of joy, out of love for God and neighbor, then you can be the desired son or daughter of the Father and of Don Bosco too. Yeah.
That's amazing. Love Don Bosco. Like to know Don Bosco. I'm going to have another retreat about Saint John Bosco, and I would love to talk about Saint John Bosco later in the future. But it's just so much thing to learn about him. He just did amazing thing for the young people. So that's the happy thing for you at the Salesian. So of course, the religious life is happy, but it's not always easy. So I will ask you another question that. What is the most? What is more the challenge thing for you?
Yeah, just like what you said, Salesian life is brings you happy and fulfillment, but it's not easy. It is actually difficult too. But I think that's part of any vocation. Even if you get married, even if you stay single, even if you become consecrated, there's always that part of difficulty. And so far, I think I am fortunate that I truly believe that God has never given me anything that I cannot overcome. And I always believe that anything that is difficult in front of me, I know it will pass. So I think first and foremost, because I do believe that everything is temporary, that this will pass because God will always be there. But just to answer in a practical sense your question about the difficulties of religious life or being a priest, is really that being a good example, So at the end, you have to always be the best version of yourself, because, and it's only you who knows it, Other people don't know your best version, They only see what is good in you, but they don't know what you're capable of are unless you show it to them, what you're capable of. It's the same as, I guess, my mindset is always like a player, a sports guy, You don't, when you play good, when you play and you've given everything, there's a big difference in that. And people would admire, oh, you play good. But sometimes you're not satisfied because deep inside, you have not given your best, the game is finished and you're not tired, you did not bring out everything. There is that joy that after you've given everything, even whatever the result, you win or you lose, you achieve your goal or you don't achieve your goal. But after the game, after the work, you're just exhausted. For me, that was the joy of it, and the greatest difficulty, I think, is always that's personal, that I know I could have given more. People might say, oh, you're good at this, you're good at that. But deep inside, I know I was not as generous as I should be. So that's a personal challenge, because I know I could have given more. And maybe in a more larger scale, I think at least the hardest for me is community life. Community life is one of the biggest because it pushes you to come out of yourself. So there are these are brothers that was given to you that you did not choose. Just like family members.
Yes.
God has.
Yeah.
But
Challenge.
yeah, so God gave them to us, but we have to learn how to live with them. We have to learn how to love them, even if sometimes they don't want to love back.
Yeah. It's a challenge.
So it is difficult to continuously love someone who doesn't love you back. It's easier with family members because somehow family members learn how to love each other, even if we sometimes hit each other and hurt each other. Yeah? But we deep inside, even if we hurt each other, we say mean things to each other. We know deep inside we love each other, and I think that's the same challenge with community life. Especially when you don't see the effort from the other person. I think, and it's all human. I think it depends on how you take care of yourself, really, and how can you continue loving and forgiving. For me, that was the greatest challenge, really.
Yeah, go back to the first question I asked you, and you joined Salesian in Philippines. And I speak from my own experience. I joined Salesian in Vietnam, and we transferred to the U.S. Western Province. The question: do you have any challenge, difficulty when you transfer from one province to the other province, or from one culture to the other culture?
For sure, there's a challenge to always be open, and the challenge of adapting. But it depends on what culture you're coming from, and I guess your age and maturity also helps, in your own formation. At least for me, because maybe the Philippines has been in good relations with the United States. We've been occupied by the United States for at least 50 years in the history. So myself living in a city, I was brought up in a more open-minded culture compared to other Filipinos who probably live in rural areas, So maybe my culture is in between the Filipino and Western culture. We are Westernized. And I don't know if I can say this, besides Hong Kong, I guess Philippines is one of the more Westernized country in Asia. And we're more open to that kind of culture. So the fact that we also speak English as a second language, and we understand it, even if we don't speak it well, some Filipinos can understand fully. Coming here, it's less difficult for me to adapt. I don't have to start from zero, but I understand other cultures have to adapt from zero, and I think that's the biggest challenge. But one thing that I think for anybody who's moving to a different culture, there's always that challenge of adapting, and adapting is easy when you are supported by people. And adapting is difficult when you are not. You feel you're not being supported or encouraged. And I think that will be, or the easiest way is to be with yourself again, or to find your own culture and find your own comfort, because you're going outside of yourself. It's not like you're not yourself, but you're typically not the way you would act when you come out of a culture. But that's openness. But if people, when you feel negative comments about it, when you're exerting effort to come out of yourself, sometimes if you're hurt, it's easy to come back to yourself and say, I'll just find my own people, and spend and celebrate with my own people. So that's always the challenge for anybody who's adopting. So if a person can recognize that this person is actually making an effort to come out of his regular self, normal self, and encourage him, you're doing okay, keep it up, there's more possibility that this person would adapt more. And I think in my experience, I've been encouraged that way. There's many wise Salesians from this province who really, in the beginning, I did not understand what they mean, but now I appreciate it more. One of them said, Ichan, do not forget you're Filipino. Stay Filipino. Know your culture, because that will be your gift in this province. For me, that was a challenge to not adapt 100%, but to find fusion. Find what is good in my culture and find what is good in this culture. The negative I put away. But combining it and finding something in between.
Yes.
two cultures. So now I am, it's not fully Filipino, but it's not fully American as well.
I think I can speak to that experience. I think I had the same experience. I really appreciate it. A lot of Salesian over here, they kind of support it. Like you said, when you feel support, you're not going to like close yourself, but you open it, and people support you who you are. But at the same time, you learn the new thing, but you don't lose what the good thing from you in you. So that I really like from that perspective. I really appreciate all the good Salesian that help me to adapt to this culture. That's really nice. Yeah, we all like get the challenge for all the people from the outside of the US and but it's not impossible, right?
Yes.
Especially when you have a lot of people support us around, and I hope that whoever listen to us right now or young people like discerning about vocation, they said, if you are from other cultures, it's okay, And could be the last one for you. I think I take a lot of time already, but if you have something to say to young people today who are like thinking about joining a religious life, a Salesian or any orders, what would you like to say to them?
Well, I want to share from my experience. Try it out. It's always like that. You will not know if you like basketball or swimming if you're not gonna play the game.
Yes.
So first and foremost, experience playing the game. Give it your 100%. And let's see if there's something in your heart that says, oh, I like this. Yes. I'm not good at it, but I'm learning to love it. Or you say, oh no, swimming is not for me. Volleyball is not for me. Basketball is not for me. But that's how you see it. You cannot just read what the rules of basketball is and say, oh, I love basketball because the rules says, you cannot just read it in books. No. It's really experiencing it. So for me, that's how I chose to become a Salesian and profess as a Salesian, because I tried it out. So my challenge maybe for those who are thinking and discerning is experience what Salesian life is, so that you can verify. And I think it's in any relationship. When you're fascinated with a girl or with a boy, you want to spend more time with that person. You give your 100% also.
Yes.
You go beyond what you're capable of, and you spend time to get to know. It's only when you know something very well and you know a lot about someone or something that you can really love something or love someone. You cannot just say, oh, I read it from online, from Google, I love Don Bosco, but you haven't even met Don Bosco,
Yes.
or met the Salesians, or met experience working with the young people.
Yes.
Or met the girl of your life or the boy of your life. So I think that is always the challenge, to give some time.
Yes.
And then you can verify. And I think that's part of discernment. And it's the very key part of discernment, where you experience it. So for young people who are thinking about religious life is about really coming out of yourself. You have to learn how to come out of yourself, to give yourself fully. So maybe getting engaged in your ministries, in your parishes, in your schools, find a way where you can learn how to come out of yourself. Like reach out program, like any immersion experiences. Right now it's difficult because of the pandemic to really have an interaction. But when you have a chance to do activities of charity work, going to a place to help people or young people, being in your parish and volunteering as a leader.
Yes.
These are experiences of going beyond yourself.
Yeah.
And at the end, that's what, if you choose to become a religious, what you promise is that you're gonna keep doing this kind of stuff, going out of yourself all the time, as much as you can, because as humans and weak as we are, we always come back to rest, But with God, He will push us to be beyond.
I agree. And I met another young Salesian, and he told me his story before. He said, like, at the beginning he really hesitated to try it, but at the end he said, like, how about I just reserve a whole year, I just give this year to God, and I'm not going to regret it in the future, because I just dedicate this year, so I'm not going to regret even in the future. I'm not going to become a Salesian, but I just reserve this year for God.
Definitely. And when we entered our first year, after we were 21, and only 4 of us persevered as an SDB. But I would say majority of my classmates, part of the 21, are happy because they went to different stages, and when they decide to leave, they said, I'm a better man, I'm a better person, I'm going to be a better father. A lot of them have children now, but they were happy because they gave their life and they committed their life for 1 year, 2 years, some of them 3. Some of them become Salesians but left us also. But in those 7 years, 8 years that they spent with us, they were happy and they're thankful for the formation.
Thank you, Father Kristian. It's wonderful conversation and about vocation, about discerning. That thank you, and I wish you a year of study, deepen your knowledge on Saint John Bosco and spirituality for the better of the young people, for the benefit of the young people.
No, thank you for having me. This is a privilege and pleasure.
Yes.
Yeah.